He has been one of the best relievers in all of baseball since he joined the Dodgers in 2021. Currently leads the team with 17 saves. We heard Dave Roberts talk about it many times. He should have been on that National League All-Star team. Let's bring up Evan Phillips. Next up, former first-round pick out of the University of Louisville back in 2020. Made his major league debut on May 23rd in Atlanta. A really tough assignment. What did he do? He went out and beat the Braves, one of the best offenses in all of baseball. Let's welcome Bobby Miller. Well, winning is a lot of fun, isn't it? You guys have been doing a lot of winning here recently. Evan and Bobby, you guys can both answer. I just want to get what the vibe is like being around the team. I know when you're winning like this, you probably can't wait to get to the ballpark, even though you're playing 13 straight days. But what is that vibe like with this team?
It's been great. Honestly, we come to the ballpark, we're ready to play every single day, and I think the expectation that comes with putting on this jersey is that we're here to win baseball games. So I feel like with that, external goal looming over us that we expect to win, everybody shows up with the intention to work and get after it each day, and fortunately, the results have been on our side.
I got to follow for Bobby. Bobby, I just glanced behind the stage here, and I watched you watching your own video. Has it sunk in where you are, what you're doing, and who you play for?
Yeah, a little bit. As a kid, I came here to watch a game before, and I've always said it would be great to play here one day. So, it sank in a little bit, but every day I'm just kind of trying to be where my feet are and focus on that day in particular, and what can I do better that day to get better. And I'm just learning something new every day.
I know the fans like to get to know maybe a little bit more of a personal side with you guys, and I've always loved nicknames in Major League Baseball. Bulldog's a great one. We've seen a lot of Dodgers with great ones. Crime Dog, he was here for a short amount of time. Big Poppy, things like that. Bobby, we're still working on a nickname for you. I hear things thrown out there, Bobby Ice, Bobby Blackout Miller, but I want to begin with this guy because there are so many tough, strong nicknames out there, and his teammates call him Honey Bun. So for the people who haven't heard the story, Evan Phillips, one of the great closers in the game, great relievers, you're Honey Bun.
So fortunately, that nickname hasn't really followed me into the clubhouse and at the professional level.
They haven't made shirts or anything like that? Yeah.
It will now.
Some shirts made last year.
Yeah,
the bullpen guys definitely, call me that a bit more, but it's actually a college nickname. My freshman year of college, we were in fall ball. It was my first semester on campus. Went to UNC Wilmington, a small program, good for me at the time. And we're having a fall ball game, and I'm doing one of the game charts. My buddy's over here doing the velocities, and I'm doing the game chart. And I'm not doing anything else the rest of the day. So I sit down, and I grabbed a couple snacks on the way to the ballpark. So sure enough, 17 years old, I grabbed like a Dr. Pepper, a bag of Cheetos, and a honey bun. Right, what else would I grab? So my teammate, sitting beside me, he notices my snacks, and he says, "Oh, a honey bun, that's interesting." He says, "I'm gonna start calling you Honey Bun." And I was like, "That's stupid, man. Like no one's ever gonna call me Honey Bun." And sure enough, for the next 3 years of college,
and Alex Vesti or someone was responsible for making T-shirts. They were wearing high leverage Honey Bun shirts.
Yep. So the high leverage Honey Bun, that kind of caught on last year as my role, crept out on the field, and I think actually Josh Barr, our bullpen coach, his son coined the nickname. So he got the nickname started, and then Vest made the shirts. But it's a nickname that has stuck with me for far too long.
How about for you, Bobby? Do you have an old college nickname that no one's aware of yet, or do you have a nickname that we're just not aware of?
No, honestly, I don't really have a nickname right now.
Big Bob? Big Bob?
Yeah, I get a lot of people say Big Bob. It's always been a thing for me growing up. But yeah, the two you said, I think David Bassett came up with the Bobby Ice one. I don't know if I'm really here for it, but...
And Jerry started calling you Bobby Blackout Miller because after one of your games, you said, "Man, I feel like I blacked out. I don't remember much about my outing." And Jerry's like, "That's his nickname, Bobby Blackout Miller."
Yeah, it kind of was like a little bit of blackout, but, you can reflect on it the next day, and I definitely remember everything out there.
Yeah.
Do you think you would ever fall in love with a nickname so much that it would be embroidered on your glove? Are you that kind of guy, or would you just always go with your name?
I would like that, but I mean, I haven't had that nickname yet that I would do that. As of right now, I just put Bobby Miller on my glove.
Okay. I'm so sorry that you don't have a bat contract. You guys can't hit anymore. I've got cool bats with my signature. I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah,
but if you'd ever want one of my bats, I'll get you one.
Okay.
One of the bad things of them not hitting, though, is that you guys can't get a double and stand on second base and do the Freddie dance. We heard Dave Roberts talking about it, and we know that when the guys get a double, they usually first turn to the bullpen, to you guys down there, or to the dugout. Bobby, when you're not starting, you're probably in the dugout. So what do you guys think when you see these guys standing on second base all by themselves in a humongous stadium, and they're doing that?
I love that our guys love it. Like, it's not just about, getting in scoring position and starting a rally. It's about the dance. I think the guys just genuinely love doing the dance. For Freddie to have created it, I think it started out at the gala. So for us to, take it a bit further onto the baseball field, it's just fun for everybody. The guys in the bullpen get a big kick out of it. So it's good for us on the field, and it's good for us off the field.
Bobby, with being a rookie, does it feel like when you walk into the Dodger clubhouse, what you imagine a rookie would be, how it would be treated, or is it completely different? This chemistry about this team seems to be so unique in the way they treat people. How have you really enjoyed the way they've greeted you in the clubhouse?
Yeah, it's not exactly what I expected, but something that I really like. There's a lot of people that have opened me up or welcomed me with open arms, which I'm really thankful for. I got a lot of really good players to look up to, so I'm really thankful for that.
Bobby, you're kind of an emotional. Did you want to follow?
Yeah, I actually have something I'd like to say about Bob to Bobby. In the clubhouse, we don't really get the opportunity to reflect on what we've done, what we're planning to do, but for Bobby to come up in a situation that was kind of forced upon him, to be honest, I don't think it was meant to happen that way.
Yeah.
But injuries cause things to happen, and Bobby shows up, and I think your first handful of starts were against the Braves, the Yankees, etc. And for Bobby to dominate like he did impressed all of us. But what has been more impressive to me is that he has stuck through. The next 6 to 10 starts haven't been as perfect, but he's been grinding through them, learning so much. And I think all of that learning is going to be helpful for us in the long run. And it's going to help your career.
And a lot of guys, Bobby, have pointed to that. They can literally see you growing and maturing with each and every start. And how much do you take away from each and every time you're on the mound, whether it goes well or it doesn't go as well as you would like?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm learning something new every day. Each outing out there is another day to learn as well. As much as I want to go out and compete my butt off, But yeah, I just learn something new every time out there. I know not everything's always going to be perfect, but just kind of keep the emotions in check, stay composed out there, and make sure I'm really paying attention to guys like 22, like Clayton Kershaw. Just making sure I'm paying attention whenever he's out there. It's a real treat to watch him throw every time.
Yeah.
Have you had a moment on the mound where a light bulb went on, like somebody's teaching you a lesson and you're like, I'm going to take a risk and go with that lesson. Like, I'm not going to throw my fastball as hard as I can. I'm just going to make sure I hit a spot. And all of a sudden it works out and a light bulb goes on and goes, oh, this is what they're talking about. Have you had moments out there like that?
Yeah. The saying, don't worry about the runner out there, worry about the hitter. When I get a situation like runners in scoring position, nobody out, one out, it's something I've asked some of the older guys, what goes on in your head in those situations? What do you do when you got a bases loaded situation, nobody out? What goes on in your head? And some of the guys just said pitch by pitch. So not thinking about those guys, just what pitch am I throwing right now, and I'm gonna execute that pitch.
I look at the three guys to my left here. I see 17th rounder, first round pick. Just goes to show you don't have to be a first rounder to make it and have a great career in the big leagues. Obviously, Orel did what he did, and Evan is continuing to excel. Can you just talk about being a 17th rounder, Evan, and what your experiences were like? And then, Bobby, I'd like to hear yours as well, and whether you felt pressure to live up to anything being a first rounder.
Yeah. My path to the major leagues, was definitely a rocky one, and my path to my success was probably even rockier. Being a 17th round pick, coming into the minor leagues with Atlanta, not really having too many expectations. I I felt it was a privilege to be in professional baseball. And the Braves had started their rebuild at that time. So I was pitching well, getting opportunities, and was accelerated through their minor league system. So I was very fortunate to have been set up for success in that regard. But as a 17th round pick, I was never a top 30 prospect, never on any list anywhere. I was kind of under the radar as a prospect. So I think that under the radar, label I had attached to me, it helped my ego, grow a little bit. I needed that edge to help, through the minor league grind, because it's not super glamorous. And what they don't say, what you didn't mention about being a 17th round pick, is that I did not get a first round signing bonus.
What was your bonus?
I signed for enough money to get me into Pro Bowl.
Because Orel, wasn't your bonus like a few $100?
$10,000 and a new glove. And by the time I got to the big leagues, I had about a $15,000 credit card bill. So they don't even pay you in the minors enough to get through the minors.
That's absolutely fair, and I think Bobby, the Dodgers clearly showed that they wanted you, and that offer was shown with that. But I feel like what I got in the draft got me through the minor leagues. It set me up for success. And what's ironic about the money side of things is that my last minor league paycheck went to my future wife's flight to visit me. So I feel like it was well worth it, right? It's just kind of poetic how it all tied up.
That's great. So Bobby, how about you being a first rounder?
Yeah, obviously it was like a dream come true in my situation. I didn't know where I was going to go. That draft year for me was a little weird. That was in 2020, like when COVID first hit. We had 4 weeks of the season. I wasn't really thinking about the draft at that time when the season ended. I was thinking about winning a championship. That season, and then the draft came. I didn't know where I was at that day. I didn't know where I was sitting, and the Dodgers called my name. I didn't need to hear how much money or anything. I'd say yes to the Dodgers right away. That was the one team where I was like, no, it doesn't matter how much it is. I would love to go there.
Yeah.
Your agent didn't say that to the Dodgers, though, right? He didn't say, we don't care what the amount is. We're coming because we love you.
No, right. yeah, he did not say that.
Yeah, you're going to need to learn that in future negotiations, okay? Evan, was there ever a time where you're going to quit?
No, it never got to that point. I still feel like I got to the big leagues relatively quick. I would say if there was ever a point where I felt like I should step away, it was when I got released by the Orioles, and I was in the minor leagues with the Orioles. And not only
release means fired, right? It's not like an injured bird, okay? You're not like, release,
right?
Okay,
So,
you're fired.
Getting let go by the Orioles in 2021 when they weren't a good major league team, and definitely didn't have a great minor league team. So for them to let me go and showed that they had had enough of me at that time. It was very deflating. There's a great word for it, but fortunately I was picked up in the next couple of days by Tampa, and then had a quick 12 to 15 day stint with them, and then the Dodgers swooped in and saved my career.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you realize it was 2 years ago today you were DFA'd by the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Dodgers picked you up 2 days later?
Yep, I sure do.
And could you have imagined the day that you were designated for assignment by the Rays, that 2 years from now I'm going to be the closer for the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the best teams in baseball?
I'm not going to say yes, but I feel like subconsciously I knew I could stand on that mound and have success. And I think the Dodgers brought me in, showed me the recipe, challenged me to learn new tools, and I think I've done those things.
Yeah. Bobby, for you, I know you've talked about sometimes when you were in the minors, maybe just handling your emotions was a big deal. You're obviously a really fiery guy. How much of a challenge is that for you personally to keep your composure? Do you have things you have to say to yourself to try to pull yourself out when you're feeling maybe a little bit agitated by what might be happening?
Yeah, I think I've done a lot better of a job at that now. We got our mental strength coaches and stuff like that. Anyone you can talk to, they're there for. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a mental challenge coming up. I definitely felt a lot of pressure coming out of the draft, and that was a little hard to deal with at first, like failure and everything. I didn't do a great job at handling that, and I just had to tell myself everything's going to be okay, and it doesn't matter where you are in the draft or anything. If you, especially in an organization like this, if if you get picked up, you got a shot. The way they develop players here is unlike anything I've ever seen.
And both of these guys will probably tell you, it doesn't matter how good you are, even the great ones, they go through tough times at the big league level.
100%.
Yeah.
If I could say one thing, and this is just the two of us talking, so you guys don't listen. There's two phrases that Sandy Koufax told me. Less is more. And I forgot the other one. Just kidding. See how easy you can throw hard. See how easy you can throw hard. And that's how Sandy developed rhythm as far as being able to repeat his mechanics. And then less is more is having the confidence to throw change-ups and off-speed pitches in key situations. Because sometimes if you can read the situation in a way where the moment, the crowd's going crazy, the hitter, he's anxious, he's in swing mode, and then you got to go, less is more right now. It's not more is better, less is more.
100%.
You got it. Nobody else heard that.
No, nobody else.
Just pass along the wisdom that has been passed down to Orel from some other guys.
This is a great organization for that.
Absolutely. A lot of times when, as fans, and I consider myself a fan, I have been since the 70s, since Steve Garvey and some of the others were playing on
We
this
call
field.
him Johnny Positive during the
That's right.
playoffs because
I
he
am Johnny.
worries about you guys losing.
No
matter
I'm
what.
always, when we're, the nickname, I will tell everybody where it came from.
Johnny Positive.
So in 2020, the Dodgers are down 3-1 in the National League Championship Series. And I walked into the office that day and I said, the Dodgers only need to win today. They don't have to win 3 straight, they just have to win today, and they're going to. And so our audio guy, his name is Joe, created this little jingle called Johnny Positive, and he plays it sometimes, even sometimes on the air, and sure enough, they won 3 in a row, and then they beat the Tampa Bay Rays to become World Series champions. So yeah.
There you go. And he really is a fan. He's a huge fan of you guys.
I am, and I have been for a really long time, so sometimes it's hard for me, as Orel knows. But I was getting back to my point about how a lot of fans look at you guys and they forget that you're real people at times because you're wearing the uniform and they love you guys so much. They want you to do well and they want you to win. Evan, you had a really challenging start to your year. When you think about your son, Bo, congratulations, by the way. His son, Bo, wasn't supposed to be born, I don't think, until right around the 1st of July.
June.
Oh, 1st of June.
Early June.
And he arrived in the middle of April.
Yes.
What was that like for you emotionally? Because I know you're welcoming a child into the world, which is exciting, but you're also probably scared that something might be wrong with your son.
Yeah, we were definitely initially nervous and scared about how early he was. He was 6.5 weeks early, so completely unexpected, to be honest. We were about 30 minutes away from landing in Chicago for our road trip to go play the Cubs, and my wife texts me saying she thinks her water broke. And I had been watching some TV show nonchalantly for the past hour, so I didn't even pay no mind to look at my phone, and I'm so glad I did. But within those 30 minutes before we landed, I was able to coordinate a flight home the very next morning. I tried to get on the charter that was coming back to LA, but unfortunately I think flight laws don't allow that. But anyway, the roller coaster of emotions, I think the best way I've been able to describe it to people is that it's the merging of adrenaline and exhaustion. I think I didn't sleep until well after my son was born later that day. And I think we were somewhat just rushed into it. It was just the most natural process of becoming a parent. And I think if we had time to prepare and have his room ready at the house, or even pack the hospital bag or take the birthing class, I think we would have had some pent-up anxiety about, it's almost here, we're going to be mom and dad soon. But instead, it just occurred naturally. And I think that organic way of becoming parents was honestly beneficial in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
John, their time is up, but I want you guys all to know, I'm going to put it out there in the universe that if the Dodgers win it all, Bobby Miller's going 8, and Evan Phillips is going to get the save, and they're going to win it all. So let's just put it out there. That's what we look for.
Put it out there.
Put it out there that this guy will go 8, and Evan will close the game, and we will be having a parade here in Los Angeles. Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys for coming out.